Good Friday. Good Friday. It's Forgiveness Friday. And I just wanted to let you know that today I'm excited because I have a very special guest with me, my very good friend, Miss Kimberly Moore. I know it's hard to believe that I finally have my first guest on the show today. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every Friday. All the feedback has been so positive, and I thought we would continue with the conversation around friends because of, again, a lot of conversations I've had over the last couple of weeks around friends, good friends, bad friends, and what dictates whether or not to continue to be a friend. So first of all, welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for joining.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. So again, I promise not to keep you long, but I thought as we talked last week about friendship, and I talked about how your circle is very important to you and that you want to keep people in your circle that you can depend on. Kimberly is definitely one of those people for me. And I'll tell you a little bit about our relationship. But first, it really starts. So we worked together. We were on the same team. And she and I would always kind of go into each other's space and just kind of say, hey, hang in there, because we were both struggling with some fun stuff at the time. And we really just developed a bond that I thought was really kind of cool. And I shared with Kimberly one day my desire to write a book. So you guys all know that I wrote a book called Unconditional Forgiveness, the relationship with my dad and the relationship that I have with my wife after going through a divorce. And a lot of what I was dealing with at the time and the motivation behind it, what was really fun was my dad and my son and my wife really inspired me to write the book. Well, the person that I really give the credit to motivating me to get it done is this young lady here, because literally we were sitting one day in the cafeteria and I shared with her that I wanted to write a book. And if any of you guys know Kimberly, you know that she literally put out a project plan for me and said, you need to do this, 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 and this. And I'm going to check back with you next week and see how much you've gotten done. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. That I thank you for the advice, good looking out. I love you for that. And I go back on my day, and literally a week later, she comes to me. She walks in my office. She's like, so did you get that stuff done? I told you to get started last week. And I was like, oh, she's serious about this. And literally after those conversations, she really motivated me. She shared even a TD Jakes DVD or CD. You remember that? See, you gave me a TD Jakes CD and said, here, listen to this. And I listened to that. It was Your Next. Find Your Next. That's why we started saying that. Anyway, so she shared that with me. And again, a lot of those things that she did and just being an accountability partner really has helped me. And that was, now almost 5 years ago when I started writing the book. And to this day, we check in with each other, give or take once a month. Every now and then one of us will slip, usually it's me. But thank you so much for joining. And we want to talk a little bit about accountability partners while we've got you today. So what would you say about accountability?
Okay. Well, the first thing I'll start with is one, I'm really honored that I hope to motivate you and to keep you going. And you've been that person back to me. And so what I would say to people is really assess what your friends give to you. Right. Because one of the things Sedrik gives back to me is the same thing. Me pushing him in that way clearly means that's something that I like or I need, right? Because you tend to do what you're used to or what you like. And so now Sedrik does it to me. Yes. A month later when we talk, did you do this, 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 and this? And yes. I'm like, oh. So now I feel like I got to get it done because I'm not going to talk to Sedrik again and tell him that I didn't do it. And then another, I actually want to shout out somebody else, is my friend Karen Coleman. So you'll have to tag her on here. Okay. But that next DVD came from her because she gave it to me. And then I blessed somebody else with it, and it was really motivating for all of us. And so she's another person in a much different way than Sedrik, right? She if I tell Karen anything, Karen's gonna ask me about it again. So I'm like, oh wait a minute, I can't tell Karen because if I tell her, she goes. If I don't tell her, then I got a little bit of a pass. But I talk to her all the time, so I always make the mistake of telling her. A couple of days later, Karen's like, oh, what happened with so-and-so? So I feel obligated to keep things moving. And that's really, for me, what my accountability partners do. Sedrik makes sure that I'm really on task and helps me to stay grounded. The other thing I would say is that people really know you well. And so, Sedrik, you may not remember this, but I told Sedrik I was moving from one thing that I was working on to something new. And he really was like, wait a minute, wait, what do you mean you're not going to do that anymore?
Right.
Let's talk about this,
Yeah.
because he knew how passionate I was about the other thing. But once I took him through everything about the new business venture, he was able to say, okay, then that makes sense. Like knowing you and hearing it from you and really hearing it from your heart, not just it being on a piece of paper, like you've really thought it out. I can see that that really is right for you. And so having people who challenge you too as you make decisions to question whether or not you're making the right decisions is always helpful.
Exactly. And you touched on the last point that I wanted to make. The thing I love most about Kim, yes, she is going to check on me. And it's funny you said that, because I said the same thing. I said, man, if I tell Kim this, she is going to be on me. So, and in some cases, there are times when I will tell you stuff just because I want you to be on me. Because you know how it is. We all have friends, and you guys, I always talk about my wife. I love my wife dearly, but my wife is my wife. She supports me. She's going to challenge me, but she's more so going to support me and say, well, baby, if you want to do it, I got your back. But she's not going to come back to me a week later and say, well, have you done anything with this? Now, if I say it to Kim, Kim is going to take me down this road of, as I did with her, okay, now why are you doing this? Why are you changing directions? Or is this the right thing for you? And when it stinks, she's going to say, Sedrik, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And I have to sell her on it, which is much what she had to do with me. I didn't tell her it was a dumb idea, because I approach her a little different than she approaches me. But in the end, that's what we both need to help keep pushing us forward. And we all have, I've got more and more accountability partners. As I've noticed, there are people in my life that from time to time will just, and they don't even know that they're doing it. They just all of a sudden will ask me a question about something that I shared with them months ago. Like, where are you on this? And how's that going? And in the back of my mind, even this video series that I do every single Friday, in the back of my mind, I believe that there's somebody out there waiting on this video to pop up. And so when I'm a minute late, or if I'm not able to do it, I feel like I've let somebody down. And I think from an accountability standpoint, we all need that. We all need to be pushed from time to time, because let's face it, it does get difficult. It does get challenging at times. The world and our lives get in the way. Especially when you're running a business, or you're working for a major company, or for that matter, you got a family that you're dealing with, trying to take care of. You got all the soccer practice and all that other stuff. Sometimes it's hard to pursue your passion. I actually posted a video today that talked to that very fact. It was a clip from a movie where the guy was in culinary school, and the gentleman asked him, and apparently he was being fired, so you have to come check the video. He was being fired, and he says, so tell me, how much did they pay you to forego your dream? And he said, $20,000 a year. And to me, that is, I think, the biggest problem that all of us have. We all show up at a job that we hate. Not all, I shouldn't say that. Many of us show up to a job that we hate, that is not fulfilling, that doesn't meet or align with the passions that we have, or for that matter, the God-given purpose that we have in our hearts that drives us. So we go throughout our day like cogs in the wheel, just trying to do whatever we got to do to maintain status quo. But in the end, there's a passion burning inside of us, and we just forget about that passion. And next thing you know, we're getting our gold watch for retirement. And at that point in our lives, we say, well, we're too old to pursue it. So I hope that these conversations will inspire you to be great. Remember that you surround yourself with the perfect people, as I have with this young lady.
And vice versa.
And no matter where we live in the country, or ironically, wherever she is in the world, because she does travel a little bit more than I do, I know that I've got that good friend that if I need that little ounce of encouragement, that I can get it from her. It's unbiased, it's heartfelt, and it's God-given love and support that she has for me. And I thank you for that publicly with all 15 million views that I know this video is going to have. So thank you very much for joining me today, Kimberly Moore. And I will tag Kimberly Moore, so if you want to find out a little bit more about her, hopefully you'll support her in all of her endeavors. She is an amazing young lady, and I thank you very much for tuning in today. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care.